Before this guy was drafted, all signs pointed to a great NHL career. He was a World Junior teammate of Wayne Gretzky. He was a top player in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Very talented goalie. When you play in Cornwall, you have to be. These 3 seasons with Cornwall were probably some of the best that the team ever saw. Unfortunately, when he made it to the NHL, due to factors beyond his control, he was mired in the minors. And I think the shift of his draft team from Atlanta to Calgary really hurt him, because it took him literally 5 years to get to the NHL. Had some success in Toronto, but again, not the NHL career a lot of people hoped and expected of him. So today we're talking about the very talented but the very curious case of Tim Bernhardt. Now, Tim Bernhardt, born January 17th, 1958, in the beautiful community of Sarnia, was a 5'9", 164-pound goalie. And like I said, he broke in with a great results with Cornwall over 3 years. Now 51, 44 in 54 games. Won bronze at the Worlds for Canada at the World Juniors, like I said, the Gretzky year. He was ranked in the Hockey News Draft preview issue in the 1978 draft as a number 4 prospect for the draft. Now Atlanta took him 47th overall, which was pretty well made him a top 5 goalie for the draft that year. Now he won the QMJHL Plant Trophy for lowest goals against average over those 3 seasons. He was a QMJHL All-Star First Team, 77 and 78, and a QMJHL West All-Star Second Team in 76. Now, he set a QMJHL record since broken for the longest shutout streak during the 78 season. Now, he like I said, he was literally mired in the minors. Started with the Tulsa Oilers of the CHL, played 46 games that year in 79. Then the Birmingham Bulls for 2 seasons. Then the Rochester Americans, the AHL. Then the Oklahoma City Stars of the CHL. Now, his best season in the minors was 1980, 15-16-1 record with a solid 3.79 average. Now 83, he finally got his call up to the big club. He had played with the Colorado Flames most of that year, 1911-1, but a terrible start with Calgary. 0-5, ladies and gentlemen, in 6 games with only 280 minutes played. Now, Toronto picked him up. His system, he had a solid season with St. Catharines in 84, 25-13-4, and a lot of people predicted he would find his way to Toronto by the next season. That's what happened. Now, 1985, he went 13-19-4 with, again, a solid 3.74 average. 86, as the primary backup for the Leafs, he went horrendous 4-12-3. And when he went back to Newmarket in 87, again, some tough results, 9-17-1 in 31 games. Now, he was sent back to Newmarket, and that's where he wrapped up his minor pro career. 88, 89, and 90, he was primarily either the number 1 or the backup for the side. Best season was an 88 with a 22-19-4 record. But I watched Bernhardt play, and like I said, one thing really hurt him was his size. I mean, the NHL was getting bigger, the goalies had to get bigger, but 5'9" wasn't there for an NHL debut. Now, he wore number 29 with Calgary, number 1 with Toronto, and did win a Stanley Cup as a chief amateur scout in '99 for Dallas. Now, he worked as a scout for NHL's Central Scouting Bureau from 91 to 93. He was a Dallas amateur scout from 94 until 98, and he was Dallas's chief amateur scout prior to the 99 season and remained there for the rest of the campaign, again winning the title. He was named Dallas's director of amateur scouting prior to the 2000 season and held position through 2007. Now, the big problem for him was 2 major injuries. With a knee injury he suffered in 85 versus Pittsburgh, and another back injury in a game against Oilers in early 86. So that played a big problem. Now, NHL awards and honors, and and minor pro awards and honors. He was AHL All-Star second team in '84, QMJHL Hall of Fame '97, well deserved. And he was also playing in Atlanta when the parent team relocated to Calgary on June 24, 1980. Now, a bad abscess for him really hurt his 1980 season. He had surgery in October of that year, and it was also 80-81 was a rough year. It was on the Birmingham side that folded on February 24th, 81. Now, he was never traded to Toronto. He was loaned by Calgary to St. Catharines for the 84 season, but signed an AHL contract to play for St. Catharines in September of 84. Now, he was named as goalie on the all-time Cornwall team by a CHL paddle in '99. Now, because Calgary did not offer Bernhardt a contract for 85, he became a unrestricted free agent and signed with Toronto again on December 5th, 84, after playing with St. Catharines for most of that 83-84 season. Now, if you look at his scouting acumen, did some really good work. Now, he was again a key person in Stars organization, and he was responsible for helping draft players such as Steve Ott, Mike Smith, Jussi Jokinen, Trevor Daley, Louis Eriksson, James Neal, Matty Niskanen, and Jamie Benn. Very good. Now, he also served as director of amateur scouting for the Coyotes until 2018. So, as a goalie, major junior star, as a minor pro, decent. NHL, again, injuries and bad luck really followed him, but he was stuck when he was playing in Toronto as the number two. Let's look at the 84-85, ladies and gentlemen. Rough season. Dan Malone led them to a 20-52-8 record. Now, this is kind of bizarre because Ricky Vive, Anderson DeLego had 30-goal seasons that year, but this is who they had in the cage that year. Bernhardt, Bester, Reggett, and Rick St. Croix. They really never decided on a pure number one that year. Now, Bernhardt had the best record, but Reggett that year was 2-15-3. Alan Bester was 3-9-1, and Rick St. Croix, God bless him, was 2-9. So, I mean, Bernhardt was the only person that was stable that year, and maybe it burned him out, I don't know, but like I said, he played in the NHL. He deserved to be in the NHL, but I think that move from Atlanta to Calgary, I think there was too much pressure on him, and I think knowing that Mike Vernon was in the pike, as we say, and also, Reggie Lemla, you had to go back to the minors for additional seasoning. But I think what really hurt him, the Q style, he could get away being 5'9" in the Q, but you can't get away with being 5'9" in the NHL. And there's other players we featured here were that size, but 5'11", 6'2" would be the perfect size, and Bernhardt looked smaller than what he was. I watched him play, like I said, decent on the angles, but sometimes it would be cheap goals that we were wondering it was because of the size, and that's what he couldn't fill the cage like a what do you call a more, I don't know. He was more crouching 5'9", that makes any sense, so he was more like 5'6" or 5'7". No disrespect. That Toronto team he played on where he was the unofficial number one, I wouldn't wish that my worst enemy. 52 losses for Toronto is like 100 anyplace else. So that's a legend and the many lives of Tim Bernhardt. If you like what we're doing with our Vintage Toronto Maple Leaf podcast, let us know. Don't forget, playoffs are coming up. Looks like the Northern Division will be quite interesting. Montreal, Toronto, and Edmonton, and Winnipeg. And Connor McDavid and Connor Bernard, it's been a big week. Congratulations to the two Connors. And as we say in the North Shore, keep your stick in the ice. Bye.